Hey folks, this is Valkyrie 612 here. By request, I'm doing another part of this campaign, and I'm going to show you a tactic that's fairly useful, but very risky for submarines. But I'm going to try a sneak attack within one of the enemy's harbors. So the last few episodes, as those of you know, I've been in the Baltic region, and mostly what I was trying to do is just show you some elements of the Wolves of Steel mod, and that's what I'm using here. But what I'm going to show you now is just basically a sneak attack tactic. So my navigator has me plotted up here. Right now I'm on the surface. And I'm headed 180. Look at the time, it's morning. So I need to keep an eye out for enemy surface contacts. I'm going to avoid them unless I see some vulnerable merchants. But there actually aren't a lot of merchants floating around out here. Not this early in the war. This is still the beginning of World War II, and right now we're only fighting Poland. So there aren't a whole lot of Polish merchants or Polish warships to start with. So you're not going to see a lot of them out here like you would if you were off the coast of England. So here is where I'm actually headed. I'm actually headed 180, and then I'm going to just make a turn 270. And there should be one or two ships in one of these ports. And it's hard to actually detect ships when they're inside the ports because of the noise of the port. So I actually made a mistake in one of the last or one of the recent episodes that I made, in that I thought that the loud noises that I was hearing were multiple ships that were imported. That's actually not the case. That's just a that's part of the sound mod, I think, that Wolves of Steel put in, and it's actually noise of the port. There's a lot of machine noise and things like that. So but there usually are at least one or two ships in here. There's 3 ports here, as you can see. Now there might not be any ships in there, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to stalk, and I'm going to wait in the deepest part, closest to these ports, and I'm going to listen, and then I'm going to strike at night. And that's the plan. So when I get down here, I'll meet up with you again, and we'll see what we can find. See you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. So it took me a while. I had to get through some destroyer screens, but I am in the harbor here, and I'm not very far at all from the port. So you can see I'm only about maybe 10 kilometers or so. So it is 17:14 nautical. So the sun is going to be setting soon. And if you look at the map again and just kind of zoom in here, how the port is configured, you've got you can't see it on the map, but there's three lighthouses. There's one here, and there's one here, and there's one over here. So here is the one that's furthest to the east, and this is the middle one, and way over there is the one that's furthest to the west. Now I want to go right in the middle here because I know that's how the merchants get in there. That's how the ships get in. So I'm just going to point at that, and I'm going to tell my my ops officer to head to view. So he's going to creep. He's going to turn the ship so we're creeping right where I was just looking, and that's going to be where my 0 is. You can see it's moving. And my periscope is up. The weather is kind of cloudy and gray, so it'd be very hard to see it. But I don't want to leave it up for too long, so I'm gonna bring it back down. Okay, so we're just creeping in there. We're doing 3 knots. 10 kilometers away, so let's do a little math. Alright, so knots to kilometers per hour conversion is 3 times 1.852, and we get 5.5 kilometers per hour, or 5.556. So 10 divided by 5.556 is 1.799 hours, or 1.8 hours. So 0.8 hours times 60 gives us 48 minutes. That's an hour and 48 minutes now. Alright, so it's going to be at 6:16, and then 56, another 8, so about 2 hours and 4 minutes. So we'll say 18:20 at this speed. See if I'm close to right. Of course, this is assuming that my navigator's plot was correct. I don't want to be right in there at that time, so I'm going to stop, a little ahead. I'm just going to check every now and then, 'cause like I said, I don't know how accurate that plot is. Oh, I'm actually pretty close. Oh, whew, that scared me. That was a bird. That bird looked like an airplane or something. Alright, I'm still headed to where I want to go. Maybe I can just get away with just having a little bit of periscope sticking out of the water. I'll speed it up. Yeah, I'm only doing 3 knots, so I'm really slow. I'm actually a little nervous. purpose about doing it that way. Alright, where am I at now? Alright, we got about another hour or so before we're in there. I think less than that, because I'm closer than that, I'm pretty sure. I can go through all that measurements and stuff, but there's still daylight out there. The shore batteries are gonna spot your periscope if you're up for too long. They'll spot you right away, of course, if you surface. But I've been caught before, so I'm gonna play it safe. So I'm doing a little bit of dead reckoning now from where I was. I'm doing about 32 times the speed. 1830, I'll bring it back to normal. Okay. Bring the observation scope. You don't want to use the attack periscope when you're sneaking like this, because it's much taller and it's much more, and it's wider too, so it's easy, so you can see it easier. Well, I'm glad I stopped. I was going to run into a wall. Wow, look at that. Woohoo! Alright, stop. We're going to start going back. We're going to do some backwards action here. And we're going to turn the rudder to the port side, so we turn our bow to the right. I've turned the voices off for the guys, because they get pretty excited, you know, around this time, and I don't know, it just kind of annoys me. It's hard to think and talk and stuff when they're screaming and yelling. But you can see down here, I'm hard to port. Down here. And I've got the scope way low. That's why I'm getting water on it. I want to be pointing at it, so I can point, so I can get out of there quickly. I'm going to wait to dark though. Slow down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to drift the rest of the way and center my rudder. Make sure it's centered. If I shoot now, everybody's going to know, and they're all going to come after me. It's going to suck. Looks like, is that two ships on both sides? Or is that on the other side of the wall? I can't tell. This guy is definitely on my side of the wall. I can see his bow. This guy, ooh, he's also on the other side of the wall. Okay, so we got two ships we can shoot. Great. All right. Well, we're gonna just kind of take a little nap here and wait for the time. Meanwhile, I'm gonna have my sonar guy just keep an eye out for these guys. Says he has no contact. It's because the ships aren't moving. He'll tell me if they start to move or some ships come in. No, it's 1830. speed up a little bit. Yeah, so if I went by the original calculation, I would have been in the wall. So, it's not pinpoint. We're not using GPS here. So at some point you just have to kind of, you have to eyeball stuff yourself. It's 7 o'clock. Let's see if it's gotten any darker out there. Not much. Of course, the ships are still there. They're not going anywhere. The guys are on, the sailors are on Liberty probably. I'm just sitting here. You gotta be really patient with this game. Try to rush things, you're not gonna have fun. I mean, you're gonna get blown up, sunk. And there are Polish destroyers cruising around. All right, you see my CO2 is warning is high. I'm still okay, but I got to be careful because if it gets too high, my guys will die. So you don't have to surface completely to clear out the CO2. You can go to decks awash, and if it's dark enough out there, I should be able to get away with it. And you just come up and go right back down. Yeah, it's dark. It's pretty dark outside. I can't see anything. I can't even, I can barely see the flag, so that's good. That's nice that they have their flags up, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be able to see them at night. There are no stars because there's clouds, so this is a really dark night. The only lights you can see really are the lighthouses. All right, so I'm going to click here. What's going to happen is I'm going to go decks awash, so the sail's going to be sticking out of the water, and you can open a hatch and go out, but the decks, fore and aft, will be underwater. Since I'm not moving, I'm not going to be taking out a lot of waves and stuff like that. I'm just going to pop up. In fact, I'll pop up and show you what it looks like. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm right. Let me get this out. I'm right here. And see the CO2 went away, and now you want to go back down. Alright, so as I'm going down, I know this is wrong, but I'm actually right about here. So let me see if I can put a mark there. Pretty sure I am right about here. Except, alright. So I'm going to make a hard starboard turn, and I should avoid this wall. And I'm just going to head out. You know, my direction's going to be, you want to go about 085. All right. So you can set your heading, you know, ahead of time. You're not moving, so. It's not going to see. It's not going to go quite to where you set it or where you want it. Well, about 087 is good enough. So that's my new course. Now let's go sink these guys. And again, we're going to use our observation scope to do this. Put it all the way up. It is all the way up. See, I'm only 1 meter above the water. Alright, where are they now? I've lost them. Help me out. Is that the flag? I saw them before. If they left, my sonar guy would have told me. Ah, here we go. See it moving? I don't know if you can see it. There's one right there. And there should be another one. There's one here, and there's one here. So I'm going to aim at the flags. Alright. So let's take our time with this. They're not moving. Range doesn't matter. Put it at 1,000 yards. It's fine. But it doesn't. It doesn't matter though. I put it there because I'm not sure if they set the torpedoes for running. You know, if they set the running time for the torps based on range that you input. I'm still not 100% certain about that. So maybe if they do, then it does matter what the range is. But if they're this close, it shouldn't matter. All right. So bearing is pretty much where it's set to right now. I'm at, let's see, 355, 356 degrees. Does that look like 356 degrees? Three five five, 356. I think that's about 356 right there. Yeah. Angle on the bow. That matters. So it doesn't matter if it's port or starboard, but I'm going to put starboard. And it's exactly the same as the track angle since it's not moving. I suppose I could use my XO and identify the ship if they want to look at the scope, see if they can identify them. If you want to do that, we can do that. And then I can ask this guy here, hey, what is it? And he tells me it's a coal freighter, 2,900 tons, and he gives me the draft. So I'm going to put them right under here. Don't go too far under it. You want to be just a little bit above the bottom of the ship. Like, I mean, you're sure going to hit it if you put it there, but it's not going to sink necessarily. So if you put it right about, you know, there we go, right here. And I have it on magnetic. Let's see. All my tubes are loaded. Just go ahead and open all 4 of them. Okay. Let's see, turn this guy off. Okay, so this is the far guys one we're going to first. Trying to get rid of this guy. I think there's a way to do it. Yeah, there it is. Another little feature of the game where you can close the box by bringing this up and clicking it. And that's going to be our first one, and then real quick the next one's going to be here. I think if I lock it in, it'll move. Yeah, it will. See the bearing moving with my scope? If you lock it in to where it's red, it'll move with your scope. So let's do this guy first. And we'll launch 2 into him and then 2 into the other. You ready? Alright, here we go. Alright, 2. Next guy. You have to adjust the depth for each torp. There we go. Alright, let's get out of here. Hard to starboard. 1/3. I should have hit him already. I had the torpedoes on slow. Waiting. Boom. Look at that. So I got delayed sound on there. It's because so you see the explosion before you hear it. A little more realistic. I saw four torpedoes impact. And let's see, I think we said 085, something like that. Yep. There we go. Alright. Bring the scope down and we will hightail it out of there. They don't have any destroyers in the area. We didn't hear any. They're not active, if there are any. So there's just no one can hear us. I don't even have my guys at general quarters. It's just a real lax, just a real relaxed couple kills. See, I'm still turning. I'm gonna go back to the map, and this is about out here is 8.9 kilometers. Okay, so we should be leveling out. 8.9 kilometers at 5 knots. .26, 8.5 divided by 9.26. 0.917. 55 minutes. All right. So about 11 o'clock or 11:22. Someone should be there. And then I'm gonna take the course that I took back out of here. It's gonna be up this way, northeasterly course. Could head back to port. I just probably sunk all the merchants that the Poles had. Oh, they do have a few warships out there. I came across at least 3 destroyers while I was coming over here, and they saw me. And I was getting a little lackadaisical on the surface, and sitting there, drinking coffee, having a cigarette, listening to some old, German records, and we were just, chilling out there in the middle of the ocean, and my watch guys weren't really doing their job, and a shell flew over our heads. So, and that was a destroyer. So we had to go down as deep as we could and wait until they left. And it was actually pretty challenging. The destroyers in this mod are smart. It's kind of like playing at the highest difficulty rating of the unmodded game. Alright, so anyway, once we get out back to sea, unless I have an encounter, I will see you then. Alright, welcome back. Well, as you can see here, we actually did sink our targets. So we have, this one was the first one, and that was C1 TAC Bravo type medium merchant, 6,702 tons. And then we have this one here, which was a coal freighter, 2,900 tons. And those are the two ships that we sunk. Now we are actually on our way back. So we're over here somewhere. I'm going to have my navigator plot our course for us. Of course, as you know, he takes some time in doing that. If the weather's not good to do a celestial course read, then he will try to do a dead reckoning. So we're up here, and I want to go about, say, this direction. Which is about 258 degrees for 426 kilometers. Okay, 259 is good, it's fine. 426 kilometers. Oh, wait a minute, what's my speed? 15 knots. Knots. 27.78. 426 kilometers divided by that. 15 and a half hours, or 15.33 hours. So 0.33. 15 hours and about 20 minutes. So that's 10 p.m. and then 3 is 1 a.m. and 10 is 1:10, and then 20 is 1:30. So about 1:30 in the morning the following day is when I should be all the way down here. I want to get down here because I have to go here. Now, as you can see, navigating this with this real-world navigation is going to be tricky. I'm not going to have the video recording, the whole time. I'll just, cut through it, show you bits and pieces. But it's the key is you got to be, confident about where your navigator has told you that you are. Now, there, he could see the stars. As the sky was clear. He didn't take as long to make the navigation fix as he usually does. So that means that he's a little more confident about it. It's a little easier for him. So, but you really don't have much choice when you're in the open ocean but to accept what he tells you. So I'm going to let it go, and at about 1:30 in the morning, it's 10 a.m. now, so 1:30 in the morning the next day, I should be around here. Alright, I will see you then. about it's 10:23 at night, and I'm having to trust my navigator here. The game slows down when there are a lot of boats around, but of course I can't see him. But there are other boats, German boats, floating around out here. I'm pretty sure I'm going in the right direction. I'm not certain. I can't see any lighthouses yet, so yeah, look around. If I see any, I don't think the lighthouses are on until you get really close. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm really close, alright. Oh, oh no. Oh, how terrible. Oh, and that actually might be a lighthouse. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't see it. I really need a lighthouse. My navigator sucks. He's so bad. I mean, there's a radio transponder right here. You think the radio man and the navigator would be able to work with that? Let's see if he's injured, but let's see if he can do anything. Let's see, what can he do? There. Radio direction finder. He says it's 200, nearest one is 258 kilometers away. It's so stupid. There's one right here. Alright, navigator. You just caused us to beach, and we're almost, our ship is almost dead. So where the hell are we? So I'm just gonna stop the ship. I had it in fully emergency reverse. Fortunately, I turned the guy's voices off. They'd be screaming all the time. So he's gonna tell us here. I have to speed it up so that he can. Because we'll sit here and wait all day for him. He says that we're here. That's where he says we are. But we actually went underwater, so we're going to die. Yeah, we're underwater. How sad. Well, it happens to me too. So, just trying to navigate I was being pretty careful too, and his, his fixes were seemed to be pretty accurate until we got close, and then they weren't. So I got to go to my last save. All right, so here I am, my last save. This one is the one they start you off with is, I don't know. I mean, it's never 100% accurate. Sometimes it's better than other times. So I'm not really sure about this one, but I have to use it. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can hug the coastline, a little bit. Not too close, but kind of get, in this area here, get closer and closer to it. And it's, what is it, 91 kilometers? All right, 91 at 16 knots. Okay, that's 3 hours and .07. What's the .07? 3 hours and 4 3 hours and 4 minutes. All right. So 7, 8, 9, 48 at this speed. So I should be here. Let's see how accurate it is. And stay with me here, because you need to see this to see if I'm gonna have the navigator give me some plots along the way, just to tell me. So let's tell him to give me one now. Celestial plot. That takes him some time. The radio's been going crazy lately. Ah, look at that. He puts me up here. I'm headed. Well, it just says I'm headed at 277. I don't want that. Shoot. All right, 258 degrees. That's fine. So that might be accurate. You start having, do it like this. You see how I'm doing it, and I have it at 64. That's about how long it takes for him to, to do it. And you can average out these plots, so you can get some consistency. But you really gotta, get as many good fixes as you can when you come in close to port. He's got to do his job. Don't worry about working him. he's got to do his job. Down here. All right, so it's going to be south-southwest. So that's 202.204. Okay. Well, I'm going kind of fast. I'm going to slow down here. going at 1/3. Yeah, see how we're popping in here? We're consistent. The lighthouses should be here somewhere, but there's too much fog right now for me to see them. Oh, I can hear the buoy. Let's see if I can see the buoys. Yep, there's one. You see it, guys? Where is it? Come on. There he is. It should be on our port side coming in. And it is. Oh, this thing saved me. There should be a green one. I don't know what that is. I guess that's thunderstorm, but I don't see any clouds. Yeah, it's a thunderstorm. Okay, from here I can just ease on in. So this is where the channel markers really help, and you notice that I heard the bell, so I knew there was a channel marker nearby. So you use your ears as well as your eyes. I'm just going to give a little bit of 5 degree to starboard. Line up pretty well. And this is kind of the way. Wow, that was a big lightning strike. This is kind of the way that you have to do it. And you can see the port in the distance. You can see a lighthouse over there. It's a ship. Might be a ship functioning as a temporary lighthouse. Looks like he's anchored over there. Alright, well, I'm glad you got to see that. So, I should be in here, right around here somewhere. And then all the way in here is where I have to go. So I'm not going to bother you with that, but you get the idea, right? So I'll see you when I'm in the sub pen. All right, bye for now. All right, well, you see that I made it. I followed the channel markers all the way in. Red lights on my port side, green on my starboard. And now I'm ready to start a new mission. This one's going to be off the coast of England. So I'm going to end this video here, and I hope you liked it. And the next one promises to be filled with a lot more merchant killing. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you next time. Take care.